I think it's worth talking a little bit about Rosetta scientist Matt Taylor's now infamous shirt. Sort of what we do here at the Nerdwriter, talk about morality, things like that. But if you think you've heard everything you ever want to hear about this subject, I'll give you a chance to get out now. Here's an awesome video of a dog trying to get a tater tot. I'll see you some other time. When the Sam Pepper thing happened a few weeks ago, I was drawn to look at it from an anthropological perspective. Though I wholeheartedly agreed with the criticism of Pepper, it was the form and impact of the response that fascinated me most. In the wake of Shirtgate, I just found myself wanting to know who was right and why. This is an important exercise, I think, because it took all of 3 internet seconds for arguments about this to devolve into straw man attacks and character assassinations. Soon, as is so often the case in public discourse, everybody loses. The people who were criticizing Taylor's choice of shirt said, essentially, that images like these can serve to dissuade girls who might otherwise go into STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math fields, because images like these perpetuate the cultural stereotype that STEM is a boys' club, just not something that girls do. Or as Mike over at Idea Channel said on his Tumblr, the shirt was like the coloring on a poisonous frog. It screams, "Stay away," to some, maybe lots, of people, particularly women. Mike wrote about this in response to a Tumblr ask that said simply, "Kill yourself." Not the most articulate way to advance your argument, but of course, hate is a huge part of controversies like these, not only for those who speak out against perceived wrongs, but even those who support those who speak out. On the slightly more articulate side, you have commentators like the mayor of London, Boris Johnson, who said, "There must be room in our world for eccentricity, even if it offends the prudes, and room for the vague otherworldliness that often goes with genius." And then you have women across social media who said they weren't in the least bit offended by Taylor's shirt. And after all, it's just a shirt, right? Movies, TV, magazines, billboards are filled with exploitative images of female sexuality. Hell, Kim Kardashian probably did more to damage young girls' image of themselves than the rest combined. Why are we crucifying Matt Taylor when everyone supports something or other that has some kind of misogynistic undertone when none of us are blameless? First off, we're not crucifying Matt Taylor. We're trying to show how wearing a shirt like that on a global webcast might add to a culture of denigration of women. Second, it doesn't really matter if some women aren't offended by Taylor's shirt. What matters are facts, statistics, like these statistics that show women earn 60% of all graduate degrees yet comprise less than 25% of the STEM field. Statistics that show women are far less likely to be published in peer-reviewed scientific journals and just as unlikely to be cited when they are published. Maybe this is because women just don't like science as much as men. And if you're operating on that assumption, there's little I can tell you save to suggest that maybe your assumptions are following from cultural norms so invisible they seem like insights about gender. Really, the strongest emotion I'm feeling from the internet in the wake of Shirtgate is annoyance. Why do we have to cheapen this miraculous achievement of science and humankind with petty bickering about one man's stupid fashion choices? And I think this gets to the beating heart of the matter. The dirty secret about sexism, racism, homophobia, prejudice is that it's pleasurable. It's pleasurable to assert your dominance within a hierarchy you create. It's pleasurable in the same way that winning at a sporting event is pleasurable. The feeling of being a winner, of bettering someone. So when we think about issues like this, we have to keep in mind that what we're talking about is people's pleasure, about taking it away from them. Rightly so, yet it will come as no surprise that they're as reluctant to let it go here as in any other instance of gratification. In the active sense, prejudice is easy to condemn, but in the passive sense, it's far more insidious to tell otherwise kind and good-hearted people that by doing nothing at all, they're perpetuating bigotry, discrimination, intolerance. To require them to think about their actions and inactions may feel incredibly annoying. That's what it is to take someone's pleasure away. Pleasure that's so normalized, so baked into our lives. Its removal feels a lot like pain. I, for one, think it's possible to hold 2 lines of thought in the mind at once, to marvel at the unbelievable magic of the Rosetta mission and to lament the real contribution, however small, of one man's shirt on a community of women who began at a loss. So the next time you feel annoyed at feminists or social justice warriors or Mike from Idea Channel, take 60 seconds to think about whether, in fact, you feel annoyed or threatened. And if it's the latter, ask yourself, What is it that I'm in danger of losing? Hey everybody, as I said at the beginning of the video, this is sort of what we do here. We think about moral issues, try to figure out what side we come out on. If we can't do that, we just try to get a better understanding of what the issue actually is. So thanks for watching. Make sure to follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I'll leave the link in the description, and I will see you next time.